ladies and gentlemen, would like to draw your attention. Let's welcome the Honorable Minister of State Independent Charge, Shri Shripad Yesu Nayak ji. Also joining us, Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha, Secretary Ayush, Shri Arvind Vachasvi, the Managing Director of Shri Shri Tattva, Dr. Sanjay Baru, Secretary General of FICCI, Dr. A. Jayakumar, Secretary General of Vigyan Bharati, Shri Ravi Uday Bhaskar, Director General of Farm Excel, and Dr. G. Geeta Krishnan, Ayush Expert WHO, with Shri Vinay Mathur, Deputy Secretary General of FICCI. We're also going to be shortly joined by the Honorable Minister of Commerce, joining us, Shri Suresh Prabhuji, shortly. Honorable Minister, sir, with all the senior leaders and dignitaries and representatives from the ministry, from industry, academia, research institutions, from various councils, the chambers of commerce and industry, from the regulatory bodies, and then all the learners, the teachers, the students, the promoters of the Ayush system of medicine with the practitioners, and also the experts from other allied sciences, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be now welcoming all of you to the first International Arogya 2017, an international conference and exhibition on Ayush and wellness, which is being organized by the Department of Commerce under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, by the Ministry of Ayush, and by the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And it is further supported, ladies and gentlemen, by the World Ayurveda Foundation, by Vigyan Bharati, by NASYA, and Farm Excel. So it's a pleasure to greet and welcome each one of you, and our special welcome to our international delegates who are present with us. We have an overwhelming response. Some 72 countries are participating in this international conference and exhibition. We would like to show you the various participating countries. The flags are here. A very, very hearty welcome to all the very important, eminent delegates from the participating countries. Greetings come to you from India, and we really hope that we are able to take these discussions forward with all of you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we can continue to clap, welcoming all the delegates from the countries. As you can see their flags here on your screen. It's really a proud moment for us. It's an honor, India, hosting all of you. Looking forward to your greater participation and contribution to the International Arogya 2017. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you, all the national as well as international delegates. Welcome to International Arogya 2017. And ladies and gentlemen, at present, we are witnessing a huge receptive environment where the Ayush system of medicine, whether towards preventive, promotive, or curative healthcare, and also towards more holistic, more towards wellness, is being hugely recognized worldwide. And this is translating into a huge demand globally. So probably this is the right time to strategize, come up with the right kind of plans and strategy so as to position and promote Ayush globally. This is a thought and a concept which has been reflected in the theme, enhancing the global potential of Ayush. And we are going to be discussing, inviting the views and the suggestions and recommendations and the best practices from all of you, discussing around globalization, standardization, regulations, quality control, the customer safety, etc., taking it from you. And as we take this mission forward, we are really glad that to lead these talks, we have our Honorable Minister of Ayush, Shri Shripad Yesu Naik ji, present with us. Ladies and gentlemen, a hands-on minister who works very closely with almost all stakeholders. And in fact, it has been because of his encouragement and motivation that we are witnessing this resurgence. Already under his leadership, we are seeing major reforms in administration, research strategies towards the nature of practice, education, focus on quality towards standardization, customer safety. They're already underway under his leadership, and we are sure under his guidance, we are going to be seeing a further acceleration towards building and promoting brand Ayush globally. So once again, many thanks and a hearty welcome to our Honorable Minister. And I would like to request the Deputy Secretary General of FICCI, Mr. Vinay Mathur, to please welcome the Honorable Minister by presenting him the Green Certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Green Certificate which is reflects on our commitment towards sustainable development. In fact, as we present it to the Honorable Minister, FICCI is also going to be planting trees on behalf of the Honorable Minister. May I also request Mr. Vinay Mathur to kindly welcome and present the Green Certificate to respected Secretary, Ministry of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha, who's taking the vision, the mission as set by the Honorable Minister, taking it forward. Thank you, sir. And as I mentioned shortly, we are also going to be joined by our Honorable Minister of Commerce joining us. But yes, on the days we have Shri Arvind Vachasvi, the Managing Director of Shri Shri Tattva. We have Dr. Sanjay Baru, Secretary General of FICCI, Dr. A.J. Kumar, the Secretary General of Vigyan Bharati, Shri Ravi Uday Bhaskar, Director General of PharmExcel, Dr. G. Geeta Krishnan, the Ayush expert, WHO, and Shri Vinay Mathur, Deputy Secretary General FICCI, who presented the Green Certificate. So as we inaugurate the International Arogya 2017, we inaugurate it as per our Indian tradition and customs by invoking the blessings of the Almighty and lighting this lamp of knowledge and wisdom. May I request our Honorable Minister, sir, Shri Shripad Yesu Naik ji, to please light the ceremonial lamp, and also requesting all the dignitaries on the dais to please join in. This, ladies and gentlemen, marks the auspicious inauguration of this conference. In our Indian tradition, we believe in the power of the Supreme Power. We take His blessings as we move forward. सभी की शुभकामनाओं के साथ और ईश्वर की आराधना से आज के इस कार्यक्रम का मंगलमय शुभारंभ. Ladies and gentlemen, with the blessings of the Almighty and the good wishes from everyone present here, this is the auspicious inauguration of International Arogya 2017. And may I now request Dr. Sanjay Baru, Secretary General of FICCI, for his welcome remarks.
Mr. Minister, distinguished guests from around the world, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry to welcome all of you to what is clearly an important initiative of the Government of India. We at FICCI, India's oldest and biggest business chamber, are honored that the Ministry for Ayush and the Government of India invited us to partner them in staging this initiative. Not only do we have an important meeting in this hall, but we are also organizing an exhibition outside, which I urge all of you to visit. There are about 60 countries represented here, and we've seen all their flags, and about 250 manufacturers present here at this important initiative. The spread of indigenous systems of medicine around the world, and India is only one of the countries which has an indigenous system, has been accelerating over the last half a century of intellectual and economic decolonization. For a long time, the dominant medical system, which erased memories of indigenous systems, was essentially the Western medical system. While much of that is based on science and research, and indigenous systems are not always based on validation through scientific research, the fact remains that allopathic systems have not been able to address all the problems of humanity, particularly the problems of modern life. And around the world, there's a resurgence of indigenous systems of medication. People are looking for non-toxic ways of dealing with illnesses, with stress, with a range of problems that allopathy has not been able to address. I do not wish to posit this as allopathy versus other systems of medicine, but I think we need to recognize that in several different civilizational traditions, there are probably not adequately tested, but medical systems that have survived the evolution of humankind. And it is extremely important, therefore, to understand why they have survived, even if there is an inadequate scientific basis. I think one of the important initiatives that many of us have taken, not just in India, but in China, in the Arab world, in different parts of the world, in strengthening the use and recognition of indigenous systems of medicine, is to invest in research and development. And we do hope that this initiative taken by the Government of India will, in fact, result in increased investment in greater research and scientific analysis of these systems. But even as modern science has not been able to always validate their relevance, the fact is that people, based on their faith, their experience, and their respect for traditional knowledge, have increasingly used traditional systems of medication. And the phenomenal increase in the demand and the supply of Ayurvedic systems in India, Ayurvedic hospitals, Ayurvedic medicines, exports of Ayurvedic products, shows that there is an increasing demand worldwide for what are regarded as indigenous systems. In fact, even in India, we see a recent increase in, for example, the use of acupuncture, which is embedded in Chinese tradition. We see the use of many Unani systems, of Bach floral therapies, which in fact originated in England, a parallel system of medication for stress and emotional well-being. So there are a range of traditional systems, and I think in India, we feel very proud that our government has taken the initiative to invest in the development of this sector, and we at FICCI are delighted to welcome you all and partner with the government. With these words of welcome, let me thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baru. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Baru is also a very renowned economist, so his very constructive views and analysis actually gives us a lot of food for thought and action as we take our discussions forward. Thank you once again to Dr. Baru. And now we invite the views and more the approach to be adopted from the Council, the Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Council of India. This is an authorized agency of the Government of India for the promotion of pharmaceutical exports from India, and it was set up under the provisions of the foreign trade policy by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. I request and invite Mr. Ravi Uday Bhaskar, the Director General of PharmExcel, to please share his views with us.
The Honorable Minister of Ayush, Sri Ashok Naik ji, and distinguished guests on the dais, and distinguished guests from the industry, academia, government, and international delegates. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all, and warm welcome to the first International Arogya. It's indeed a pleasure and very heartening to a partner of this international conference, which will be deliberating on the value of Ayush system in healthcare, integrative medicine, regulatory aspects, and government policy from 4th to 7th December. I wish to refresh my memory that on 17th October 2017, the day when our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, inaugurated All India Institute of Ayurveda, it is the day to be remembered as the nation has laid foundation to revisit the existing Ayurveda education and bringing a synergy between the holistic traditional wisdom of Ayurveda and modern tools and technology. The Honorable Prime Minister during the inauguration stated, quote, "We forget the legacy for a long time, but now we started remembering it again," unquote. Let me bring to the notice of the August gathering that Pharmaceuticals Export Promotion Council of India, with the support of Commerce Ministry and Ayush, actively participates in almost all the national and international events pertaining to the traditional medicine and promotion of exports of Ayurveda and value-added extracts of medicinal herbs. We are presently exporting to more than 100 countries, and our top 10 exporting destinations are like US, Japan, Italy, and other countries. In the last financial year, we have exported 404 million USD. You will appreciate the fact that there is a marginal decline of pharma exports in 2016-17, but the exports of Ayush and value-added extracts of medicinal herbs have shown a growth of more than 10% in comparison to the previous financial year 2015. Sanjay Baruji has rightly mentioned that people are looking at alternative medicine. Certainly in the coming days, the Ayush system of medicine is going to be a solution to the so many elements the allopathic system is not available. I strongly feel, and it's my wish, that this conference will certainly bring the active wisdom of experts and other stakeholders nationally and globally to enhance the global potential of this wonderful system, Ayush for the good of mankind in long run. Good morning to our respected the Minister for Commerce and Industry, Suresh Prabhuji. Before I conclude, I would like to reiterate that Pharmaceuticals Export Promotion Council of India, with the support of the government, particularly Minister of Commerce and Industry, will put all the efforts to promote Ayush as a system of medicine globally in the days to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the activities of PharmExcel. And ladies and gentlemen, we're very glad to now welcome the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Suresh Prabhuji, joining us. May I request Mr. Vinay Mathur once again to kindly present the green certificate to the Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of our Honorable Minister, Shri Suresh Prabhuji, we are witnessing the globalization of knowledge, also towards global trade. The government is trying to enter into the global supply chain and in fact identifying, creating and facilitating opportunities. So we're sure that his leadership will be able to place Ayush at the pedestal which we all envisioning. And our next speaker now, ladies and gentlemen, is from Vigyan Bharati. It's also called Vibha, which is a not-for-profit organization with the foundation principle of development of Swadeshi sciences. And they're working for science popularization, implementation of modern technology, and ancient sciences in India. Mr. A. Jaya Kumar, the Secretary General of Vigyan Bharati, I request him for his address.
The most respected Union Ministers, Sri Sribasji and Sri Suresh Prabhuji, the Honorable Secretary, Ayush Ministry, Rajesh Koteja ji, Ravi Uday Bhaskar ji, Director General of FICCI, Sri Sanjay Baru ji, Aravind ji, Vinay Mathur ji, Geeta Krishnan ji, Sandeep Sinha ji, Honorable Advisors of Ayush Ministry, diplomats, Honorable Joint Secretaries, different people from the Ministry, students, foreign delegates, the teachers, and well-wishers of Ayush system, my humble pranam. Actually, I have witnessed many programs of FICCI in the last 2 decades. But this Arogya and this conference is unique, comprehensive, and different. How it has become different is they could bring the entire society, community for the success of this conference and this exhibition. Here the students are there from the entire Delhi and also from the northern part of India. We have invited the students, teachers, Ayurveda Vaidyas, and different practitioners from all of the country. So this is a very unique thing, and my congratulations to FICCI and its leadership. Another fact is, for last 7 decades, this entire Ayush system has been somehow neglected or avoided and not bring to the mainstream system by anybody. But the present government has given the considerable importance to this Ayush system, and they have made a ministry for the entire system and also made a Vaidya, one of the most recognized person as the secretary to this Ministry of Ayush. Another one different thing is, whenever the new government comes, the Indian community have hopes and dreams, naturally. But here, in the Ministry of Ayush and the Ayush fraternity, the hopes and dreams of the people abroad are so huge. The responsibility of this government, responsibility of the authorities of this ministry, and the entire fraternity, entire sector is the dreams of the entire community, not only in India, but across the world. We have to raise this system to the main healthcare system of the entire humanity. Our system is not only for the Indian community. This system, this healthcare system should be developed, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam once told in the Vigyan Bharati's function, that we have to make a chain of research and development organizations across the country for protecting this Ayush system. A chain of R&D organizations we have to develop, but now it is very, very feeble in this country for the research sector of Ayurveda and other systems. So we have to give importance to the research. And also we have the largest number of chain of research institution by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. So we have to make many tie-ups with the research organizations like CSIR, Department of Biotechnology, like such organizations, and to take this sector into a different platform. We hope that the new leadership in the Ayurveda sector, and also we have the footprints now. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan has been in the Deputy Director General of World Health Organization. Dr. Geeta Krishnan is going to the World Health Organization as an Ayush expert. So with all this global networking, within a few years, we can take this system to the highest pedestal and make Ayurveda and entire Ayush system the pride of India for the incredible India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As you rightly said, that this wisdom of knowledge and science of Ayush is not only for India, and especially as we say that gaining knowledge is a first step towards attaining wisdom, but sharing this wisdom and knowledge with others is a step towards humanity. So as we look forward to a greater development of the humanity and mankind, we take Ayush to everyone, to the mankind, to the global world. Thank you so very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our Honorable Minister, Shri Suresh Prabhuji. Once again, thanks to him for sparing in time to be with us. He has a very pressing engagement and he has to leave for that. But I would like to request and invite the Honorable Minister to kindly share his views and guidance with this august gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Suresh Prabhuji.
Good morning, friends. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all these our good friends who have come from 78 countries to India. So let me welcome all of you on behalf of Government of India for having taken the pains to come here all the way. And I'm sure in the course of next 3 days, we'll have very interesting and fruitful discussions, deliberations, and we'll decide about the joint action that we need to take. I also wish to congratulate my good colleague and very dear friend, Mr. Sripad Naik, for spearheading a campaign in last 3.5 years to make sure that healthcare becomes important, but a right healthcare is what we should try to promote. And he's running a campaign for the last several years now to ensure that through Ayush, we'll be able to build a healthy society, not just in India, but globally. And therefore, I wish to congratulate him. Also congratulate one of the leading and the oldest industry organization in the country, FICCI, which is led here by a very renowned economist and a great thought leader, Dr. Sanjay Baru. So I wish to congratulate him as well. And I'm sure the ministry, the industry, all the scientists, all the practitioners of Ayush, all the academicians, and all the people who have come from all over the world will together decide a very concrete plan of action to build a healthy society globally. In the last few years, the world accomplished quite a bit. Till 2008, the global economy grew at an unprecedented scale. There has never been an economic expansion of a kind that we witnessed in 2008. So therefore, we succeeded in building a wealthy society. Of course, there are so many spots in which there are social challenges. The income levels are not even, but still the global wealth increased at a phenomenal rate. But then that time is a time to pause and think whether we are succeeded in building up a very wealthy society but have we succeeded in building up a healthy society? Sometimes we all believe that health is wealth, so we got wealth, but did we compromise health in the process? Because so many diseases that we are seeing today, the emergence of a new diseases, which people call it lifestyle diseases. The diseases which are born because of a typical lifestyle that we are leading. Large number of people are becoming diabetes. Large number of people are suffering from hypertension. Large number of people are suffering from different kind of anxiety because they want to beat deadlines. They want to make sure that every quarter they must produce better results. They must please their bosses, and the bosses have to please the shareholders, and the shareholders have to please the investors. So all of this is becoming a challenge for a rat race for everybody to do. In the process, the biggest thing that we had is the health. Did we compromise with it? And it is a question that we really need to deliberate and think about. I am very happy that we have taken this initiative as a country which has a lot of traditional knowledge accumulated over thousands of years of civilizational wisdom. We felt that it is our bounden duty to share this knowledge with all the world, all the humanity, so that this knowledge should not be preserved and conserved within the four walls of India, but should be spread across the world so that people at large must benefit from it. Because this is a firm belief in our society that knowledge cannot be the monopoly of some. We should spread it completely. In fact, when the world was discussing about TRIPS, trade-related intellectual property rights, we were thinking in country, just imagine if everything that we discover, everything that we can offer as a knowledge, if it has to be patented and therefore it has to have some sort of a proprietary rights over it, how the world will benefit. Just imagine, one of the greatest inventor of how the lifestyle should be managed is a person whose name we don't know. The person who invented yoga, nobody knows who invented yoga. There is no patent available. He doesn't get any proprietary rights for it. He doesn't get any royalty for every time you practice yoga, you don't have to pay any royalty to him. This is a knowledge available to the entire humanity, and that is why we believed that such knowledge should be imparted to all over the world, and that's why this global conference, first of its kind, is taking place in India, and I'm very happy to see there is so much of response coming from the people across the world. As I said, India is not the only country which has a traditional knowledge. In fact, the human beings, ever since they are born, the first human which was born in Africa, we call her Lucy. Obviously, every first born human was a woman. That's another reason why we must respect women more. Because if she was not born, all of us will not be here today. But the first human being when he was born, since then, the quest of the humanity has been, how do you live better? How do you live healthier? How can we live longer? In fact, there have been so many stories of so many ancient kings wanted to live forever. And they're willing to spend their entire fortune to find out how can they live ever. So they're willing to even give the kingdom if I can live for whole life. I become immortal. But immortality is something we are not able to conquer. But certainly, traditional knowledge, not just in India, as I said again, across the world, we have been able to know how can we live better. But sometimes what happens is, we forget the traditional knowledge, but go in for something which is quick fix, which is something which can give us immediate pleasure, something can be seen, and something now unfortunately respected more in the world is money. Therefore, we can go in for money and forget something which we already had, the knowledge that we possessed, which could help us to live better and longer. And therefore, this exchange of ideas that is going to take place today is to promote this knowledge and also to learn from you. It is not a one-way traffic. We are not here to tell you that we know everything and please come and listen to us. No. We are saying we know something which we like to share with you, which has been proven as a science all over for centuries together. So we like to share that knowledge with you so that you can benefit. At the same time, if there is something better available, that also we can learn from you. In fact, IU stands for quite a few branches of medicine. Originated from India, some we cannot say necessarily from India. Some must have come from other parts, but we actually use them in India in a significant way. So I think all this blended into one can offer a holistic solution to living longer and better. In fact, we always believed that body, if it has to be cured, then you must bring in body, soul and mind together. Because so many problems are coming out of psychological issues. So if you don't have a mind control, the mind itself can affect your body and therefore the health. So therefore, many times in modern medicine, you try to cure a disease. But we believe in our traditional knowledge that cure a disease, but before that, cure a person. Try to make sure that a person whose body the disease lives, if you can cure that body itself properly as a person, you can cure a disease. And therefore, that's a completely paradigm shift in thinking. And that is why I'm very happy that all of you will be discussing the issues in totality and try to take it forward. I'm here as a representative of Government of India, but as good friend, as well as a great believer in this Ayush. Therefore, I'm here to also reiterate my commitment, personal commitment as well to the cause by which we can actually cure and make sure we build healthy, therefore a happy society. That's very important. Even more than wealthy, healthy is important, but even more than healthy, happy society is important. And the happiness will come when you are actually realizing the true purpose of life. And to do that again, we need to work on so many issues, and that's why I'm sure we'll be doing that. But also I'm here to find out if I can help the cause of this by promoting this knowledge through commercial transactions as well as globally. Because my job is a commerce minister. So I am supposed to be promoting India's exports, also bringing imports into the country. And I have met in the last few months that I have been a commerce minister. I was commerce minister, I've been for only a few months. I have met at least 40, 50 different ministers. And I am trying to tell them the same thing, that let us share something which you have and try to make it in, because in modern times, if you don't convert everything into commercial terms, it will not succeed. So let us ensure that how do you make commercial transaction possible. So we'll be very happy to work with all your countries, all the countries of the world, to create a good proposition wherein this knowledge can be transmitted to people in which win-win situation can be developed. Somebody where the knowledge is going to go, they can use it and can make it as a commercial transaction wherein people whom you are going to give that knowledge also benefits, the person who provides the knowledge also benefits. So we can build up such win-win partnership. In fact, one of the things that really is going to catch up in the next few years' time is how do you live in harmony with nature? And that is, if you don't live, we are seeing the adverse effect of climate change, which are now threatening the humanity as well as the biological life. But this Ayush will actually teach us of necessity, the virtues, and inevitability of living in harmony with nature. And therefore, the human beings are the creation of nature. Somehow we have forgotten the mother, that's the nature, and we are the creation, that's all of us are living as if the nature doesn't exist at all. But nature exists, and not only exists, but sometimes give us warning that it exists. So we see so many natural calamities which happens because nature is reminding you, I am here, please don't forget me. But therefore, making sure that harmony with the Creator, harmony with the nature, and living in a manner that will help us to live much better lifestyle without causing the ill effect of that lifestyle that happens on our health. And that is why Ayush Conference will provide us an opportunity. I once again thank you for coming here, and I assure you fully that we'll be willing to work with each one of you in a manner that is really necessary. One point, because I mentioned nature, many of the medicines, the modern medicines, are actually possible only because there is a biodiversity in the world. Absence of biodiversity would mean that we will not have access to some of the very critical medical care that is necessary for the humanity. And keeping biodiversity alive is something which is so necessary. And to do that again, if we don't believe in nature, how will we keep it alive? And to believe in nature when we realize that we owe our health to the natural forces, that is what Ayush teaches, we'll have better faith in nature, and therefore we'll preserve more biodiversity. So these are again the huge benefit that will accrue as a result of our practicing such branch of medicine like Ayush, traditional medicine that have been taught to us, and therefore we'll be able to progress better. We don't try to even challenge the modern science. Modern science has accomplished a lot. Modern medicines are not at variance or at conflict with Ayush. We'd like to have both going hand in hand. Something best that is available in modern medicine, something which is available in Ayush can be blended in a manner that will benefit the humanity. Because something which always we must keep in mind is the change is the reality, and therefore what we have learned traditionally doesn't mean that we should just get stuck there. We must work with such a manner that modernity with ancient knowledge and tradition, and that is what will actually make the reality of bringing a very healthy society globally, happy society globally, and that is what is the mission and the aim of this great conference. So let me once again congratulate my good friend Mr. Sripad Naik FICCI, as well as their colleagues, and all of you for now making a common goal, becoming the missionaries of change, of bringing in the change in a way that will benefit the whole world, the whole society. That's the thought that we believe in India. So therefore, again, welcome you. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir, for your views on the very importance of our traditional wisdom and knowledge, on the beautiful relationship between the humans and this creation and nature, bringing in more harmonization, and then your full support which you are extending. May I request the Honorable Minister, sir? So there's a report which we wanted you to release. If you can also release a report. Honorable Minister, sir, Shri Suresh Prabhuji, there is a report which we wanted you to release. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a knowledge report which has been prepared by FICCI along with Frost & Sullivan, our knowledge partners. And I would like to request Mr. Sandeep Sinha, the Vice President, Healthcare Practice for Middle East, North and South Africa of Frost & Sullivan, to kindly present the first copy of this white paper to the Honorable Minister. The highlights of this book, of this study, is going to be shared with you later. So once again, a deep thanks to the Honorable Minister, thanking him for joining us, taking our time, extending his full support, in fact, more than his personal commitment coming here, the support which he extended to us. Thank you. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we now seek the experience of the more experienced as we talk about taking Ayush more globally. We have our next speaker from Sri Sri Tattva, which is today a brand with a 360-degree approach, including the College of Ayurvedic Science and Research, a state-of-the-art hospital, inspired doctors and therapists, Panchakarma wellness centers, spas and clinics, manufacturing facilities driven by technology and stringent control systems, and widely growing franchise and retail presence promoting health and wellness. I would like to invite Shri Arvind Vachasvi, the Managing Director of Sri Sri Tattva, for his industry address.
Honorable Minister, Sripad Naik ji, Honorable Minister Suresh Prabhuji, and everybody else on the dais. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with all of you, and welcoming all of you to this International Arogya function here in New Delhi is certainly my pleasure. It's a very interesting point to note that India contributed to 33% of the world economy, according to Agnes Madison's research, of up to 33%, while it was at its spiritual best. I'm sure that all of us would agree that traditional medicine and traditional values have been interwoven into each and every civilization's culture extremely well. Having said that, it's extremely important also to note that for any idea to succeed, it's important that it's viable and also the entire commerce industry is behind it. So I'm extremely happy that both the Ayush Ministry and as well as our Commerce Ministry have come together to take this extremely revolutionary approach to see that Ayush systems are taken across to the world. Having said that, India has always had a very holistic approach towards everything. According to ancient Indian texts, the principal pillars of complete health are physical health, creativity, a sense of security, and what also our Commerce Minister mentioned, happiness. In the words of Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, health is not a mere absence of disease, but it is a dynamic expression of life. The gift of spirituality and Ayurveda is perhaps the most precious ones that India has offered to the world. Intelligently blending components of physical, emotional, and subtle well-being, Ayurveda and Ayush systems is the most complete and holistic systems that what the entire world has to offer today. Through profound knowledge of herbs and their healing properties, Ayurveda restores the balance rapidly and naturally, allowing one to smile from within. In fact, yoga, pranayama, and meditation are an integral part of Ayurveda's recommended lifestyle. In its approach to healing, Ayurveda ensures that every level of human mind and body is cleansed, healed, and infused with prana or energy. The state helps an individual to maintain a balanced personality and be free of any prejudices. A mind free from prejudice is imperative for a violence-free and a flourishing society. India perhaps is a live case study of the same. In the last few decades, Ayurveda has emerged as an effective and authentic solution to various and numerous modern-day health problems. This 5,000-year-old science is yet to get its recognition in the world, but I'm sure with our dynamic Ayush Minister, Shripad Naik ji, this is already changing, and this conference is a live example of that. And also, I take it upon ourselves saying that it's our responsibility to see that how we could bring this Ayush systems across globally in a more palatable manner. We are also proud to share that Sri Sri Tattva is silently and tirelessly working with the government of Brazil and Argentina to establish Ayurveda as a system of medicine. This effort was well received by the governments, and the people both in countries are extremely excited about this. We are also working with other nations in the region to bring the science of holistic well-being to their residents. We urge the other countries across the globe to bring this wonderful science to their people as well. As the world looks at India for Ayush systems and also other healing methods, it is imperative to maintain top quality standards. We need to create a strong research base, as what our Honorable Minister also mentioned, that ensures the revival of Ayurveda in its truest form. The Indian government, being a crucial facilitator in this overall wellness for economy, has already shown its support by establishing Ayush as a ministry, streamlining and regularizing the quality control and other processes. It is our responsibility as manufacturers to also ensure that no substandard material is used during production and hygienic conditions are maintained throughout the processes. I would like to thank the Ministry of Ayush and FICCI for providing this wonderful platform where all the stakeholders of wellness economy can come together to understand the needs of the ecosystem and work together to bring the best of Ayush systems to the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for sharing us your views and the work of Sri Sri Tattva, and also highlighting the very importance of ethics and quality control and more towards consumer safety as we look forward to promoting Ayush brand globally. Ladies and gentlemen, as was reflected, this 5,000-year-old knowledge and wisdom, it is yet to get reach its full potential and its due recognition. But the Ministry of Ayush, under the leadership of our Honorable Minister, bringing in various progressive reforms, is taking it forward, taking this quest of knowledge and sharing it and further promoting it in the world. So we now invite the views of our policymakers, and I would like to request our respected Secretary, Ministry of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Kutecha, for his address.
Honorable Union Minister of Ayush, Sri Shripad Ji Naik, dignitaries on the dais, and all respected delegates and participants from different part of the world and friends. Today is a historic day because this is the largest ever gathering and participation of more than 72 countries in an international conference on Ayush. So we all have a reason to celebrate this day. Ministry of Ayush, it came into existence in 2014, which is very significant because India is only among all the nations which has a separate ministry of traditional systems of health, and this shows the commitment of the Government of India to propagate and to support these systems for the benefit of the community and people at large. This huge participation also reflects kind of curiosity, kind of spread and acceptance in the people's heart of the world about the Ayush systems. Just few minutes before, there was a release of this report by Frost and Sullivan, and this report says that there is roughly more than $3,000 million market, export market of herbs and herbs related products from India. But out of this, the majority part is gone to essential oils or psyllium husk or guar gum, but actual Ayush products have share not more than $700 million. So recently on Ayurveda Day celebration on 17th of October, Government of India had also a workshop with the industry and with the partners, and then to visualize how to make this size of Indian Ayush sector 3 times in next 5 years. So we have made plans, we have made categorical preparations, and then we are very much sure and confident they will achieve this size of the market. I am not talking about just in terms of products, but in terms of services, in terms of knowledge. We are committed to increase it in 3-fold in next 5 years. This is one very important thing, and for that, Government of India is taking a lot of steps. We all are aware that there is a lot of demand across the world about Ayush systems. Our Honorable Minister of Commerce, Sri Suresh Prabhuji, have mentioned the requirement and why the demand is there in detail. He spoke about spread of lifestyle disorders, and he also mentioned about the need of not only health but happiness. That is what these Ayush systems, that is Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy mentions. These systems primarily advocates the health, and in terms of health, these systems advocates the happiness. So these systems also understands that health and happiness are synonymous to each other. They are not different. So it is very interesting that we are talking about health, at the same time we are also looking for happiness of the community, of the people. So it is individual and it is global, both. And that has a potential to provide solutions of the world at large. Looking at the efforts of Ministry of Ayush, I would like to mention that we have signed 11 memorandum of understanding with so many countries. That includes Malaysia, Hungary, Trinidad, Tobago, Nepal and China, etc. Also, we have joint declaration of interest with Germany and few other countries. In addition, we have 12 agreements have been signed, including USA, UK, Germany, to undertake collaborative research in traditional systems of medicine. 10 Ayush academic chairs also have been set up in foreign countries in different universities to take up research and academic activities relating to Ayurveda, Unani and homeopathy. We have also set up 28 Ayush information cells in 25 countries for dissemination of authentic information about Ayush systems of health. The Ministry of Ayush, through its central sector scheme for international cooperation, offers incentives to Ayush drug manufacturers, entrepreneurs, Ayush institutions, etc. for international propagation, for participating in various international exhibitions, trade fairs, road shows, etc. And for registration of Ayush products also, that is known as market authorization with regulatory bodies of different countries. We also offer the support to such entrepreneurs. I hope and I'm sure that in today's conference there will be meaningful discussion on the ways to incorporate Ayush systems of health in healthcare systems of the world. India would be very happy to provide technical assistance in this endeavor. I would also welcome exchange of traditional medicine doctors and researchers between different countries for joint research and development. Students from foreign countries are welcome to enroll in Ayush courses in India, and we have an Ayush scholarship program. This scheme, which bears all expenses, including international air travel, all tuition fees, etc. And I request all the foreign delegates to explore this possibility to send the students for Ayush graduation, postgraduate courses in India, and take the benefit of this unique scholarship program. I trust that the deliberations during this first edition of International Arogya and Conference on Wellness will focus on the crucial issues important for the global positioning of Ayush and enhancing the export of Ayush products and services. I also want to compliment the FICCI, the World Ayurveda Foundation, and Sri Sri Tattva, and all the other organizers for organizing this wonderful conference. To conclude, dear brothers and sisters, I must emphasize that we have high expectations from this conference. I am personally sure that the deliberations will lead to concrete action plans, and a clear message must also go out from this conference that under most circumstances, traditional medicine is often better placed than others to provide health services. We'll take these deliberations and conclusions very seriously, and we are looking for receiving serious and comprehensive recommendations from this conference to the Government of India. I am confident that my optimism on this score will be shared by all the delegates. I wish the conference a grand success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us the progressive approach and a very constructive plan and measures and initiatives which the ministry is taking towards promoting the Ayush system of medicine more towards good health, wellness, and happiness of this mankind. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present you a short film on the Ayush sector. Can we have the film, please?
Nature's healing power is the first and foremost source of healing for every living being on this earth. Every ancient civilization discovered the mysteries of the nature. And developed its own healing science. To flourish, and survive as the fittest.
Nature does seem to have all the answers, but leaves it to us to discover them.
Man has evolved from nature, and when the nature of the man gets disturbed, he has to go back to the nature.
80% of the world's population today depends on herbal supplements and natural products for basic primary needs. And even the World Health Organization substantiates this fact.
In due course of its rich tradition, India has inherited many forms of healing, which have stood the test of times. Yoga, the ancient technology of well-being and ultimate liberation, has spread over the world through natural progression.
योग हमारी पुरातन पारंपरिक अमूल्य देन है। यह हमारी जीवन शैली में परिवर्तन लाकर तथा हम में जागरूकता उत्पन्न करके जलवायु परिवर्तन से लड़ने में सहायक हो सकता है।
Yoga is a subtle and scientific process that unleashed the immense healing capacity of traditional sciences like Ayurveda. This, India's great treatise with the potential to bridge individual health and self-awareness, is now emerging as an emancipatory healthcare choice. Predictive, preventive, participatory and personalized in true sense, Ayurveda today is a way of global life. Under the aegis of Ayush, today India is the largest exporter of Ayurvedic medicines to the world.
We are taking the legacy of Ayurveda ahead scientifically, and for that our motto is to efficiently combine the ancient Ayurvedic knowledge along with the modern scientific parameters, and we are providing cutting-edge, innovative solutions for diseases which are chronic, which are tough to treat, to which modern science has no answers.
Any proprietary medicine that comes out goes through rigorous testing and also quality protocols. Very, very stringent protocols are followed with regards to the testing and also the quality of the product before we send them and they're go-to-market ready.
Today, industry is taking these traditional healing systems to a new height by manufacturing scientifically proven and clinically tested drugs. To validate and analyze the standard of these drugs, an independent body to test these medicines is also put in place.
The Ministry of Ayush has introduced the GMP norms, and all these testing parameters are mentioned there in the Ayurvedic formularies which have been brought out.
Homeopathy, the second largest healing system of the world, has deep understanding and development through centuries. The German system flourished in India as an inherent healing science. Recent advancements in nanoparticle research in homeopathy have revealed its nanopharmacological attributes.
Nobel laureate's work, which was done by Luc Montagnier, he also talks about homeopathy on the founding principles of nanotechnology.
Under the aegis of Ayush, Indian manufacturers are contributing a lot for homeopathy.
Quality is a constant effort. Cost is forgotten, but the quality is remembered forever. Because of quality, we are able to maintain our standards and compete with international brands.
Indian researchers have also gained a cutting edge over Unani medicine system.
Before we develop any drug, we do a lot of R&D in terms of the ingredients, in terms of the clinical trials, be it on the new products or the existing products. There is a continuous R&D happening to make the products better and more efficacious.
As per the Drug Act, all Ayush related products should have GMP standards. So this is mandatory to get licensing. But Ministry of Ayush has also introduced different level of benchmark. Ayush Premium Mark for being eligible to match the world standards of manufacturing anything related to human health.
All these forms of traditional medicines in India have evolved separately with scientific advancements. Today, each of the healing methods has its own pharmacopoeia. The Pharmacopoeia Laboratory for Indian Medicine and the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory sets rigorous standards for testing, manufacture and export of Indian medicines. India, with a recorded number of 8,000 medicinal plants, is the second largest exporter of Ayush and herbal products in the world.
Government of India is through medicinal plant boards of central level, at federal level and at the state level is very serious about conserving all these plant resources. So there are activities of conservation, cultivation and propagation of medicinal plants.
Demand and supply study has also indicated that export of medicinal plant has increased from 56,000 metric ton to 1.3 lakh metric tons in terms of volume, which is approximately 11% growth per annum, and in terms of value the growth is approximately 22%.
Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and homeopathy drugs are regulated through the provisions of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. The provisions and the amendment of the provisions are made by the central government, and the enforcement of the legal provisions for these drugs, that is in the hands of the state government.
Currently, exporting to almost 100 countries, Ayush sector has an estimated annual turnover of around 404 million USD and more than 8,000 licensed manufacturing units in the country, attracting large investments and generating significant employment opportunities.
In the last financial year, the exports of Ayush as well as herbal extracts are to the tune of 404 million USD. These products are going to more than 100 countries, and the major exporting destinations are
Germany, France, Italy, UK, Spain, Holland, and North America, besides neighboring countries such as Nepal and Sri Lanka.
Psyllium, which is cultivated on a large scale in Gujarat, and Senna, which is cultivated on a large scale in Rajasthan, but also in Tamil Nadu. Now, these two products are sold in every pharmacy in the United States and Canada, probably every pharmacy in the world, really.
By 2022, the size of Ayush sector would be 3 times because it is having great potential, great demand, and there are quality benchmarks that we want to match, and I am sure we will do it with the support of our industry, with the support of our community, and government is also very proactive about that.
Present is the product of past, but also the seed of future. These healing systems will discover more secrets of nature and serve wellness with more accuracy.
That was the film, ladies and gentlemen, which clearly highlighted the potential of Ayush, the present status of Ayush, the status which we are all envisioning together, the commitment coming from various stakeholders, and the vision and the mission of the government. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we take this vision further, we seek further the progressive leadership of our Honorable Minister, the Honorable Minister of State, independent in charge of Ayush, Shri Shripad Yesso Naik. I request and invite the Honorable Minister for his inaugural address.
Namaskar, good morning. Dignitaries on dais, Honorable Sri Rajesh Koteja ji, Secretary Ayush, Dr. Sanjay Baru ji, Secretary General FICCI, Sri Ravi Uday Bhaskar ji, Director General Pharmaxil, Sri A. Jay Kumar ji, Secretary General Vigyan Bharati, Sri Arvind Varchasvi ji, MD Sri Sri Tatwa, Sri Vinay Mathur ji, Deputy Secretary General FICCI, Dr. Geeta Krishnan ji, Ayush Experts, WHO, Sri Sandeep Sinha ji, Vice President, Healthcare Practices, Manager Frost Sullivan, dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and warm greeting from the Government of India, Ministry of Ayush. It is my pleasure to be a part of this, the first ever International Arogya exhibition and conference going to be inaugurated shortly. Your enthralling presence here is a large number of the testimony of the interest and demand people from different parts of the world have for Ayush system of healthcare. I am happy to know that over the next 4 days, participants and visitors will enjoy the galaxy of Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, Soarikpa and Homeopathy system being displayed in the exhibition and presented in the conference deliberation. As you know, every country has one or more forms of traditional complementary medicine system catering to the healthcare needs of the people in standalone or integrated manner. In many parts of the world, traditional healthcare practices are so deeply imbibed in the culture that rural communities and poor people prefer to rely on traditional medicine, and it is traditional remedies and the local available medicine plants owing to their accessibility, affordability and the cultural friendly experience. Vast resources of medicinal plant and huge repository of the traditional medicine knowledge, particularly in Asia, African and Latin American countries, provide the immense scope to deal with the healthcare needs of the people and address the emerging challenges not only of primary healthcare but also prevention, control and treatment of the non-communicable diseases. On this front, more and more action and cooperation strategies are required among the countries to foster the better utilization of traditional medicine resources to improve the health index and quality of life of the population. We in India have a policies program and supportive scheme for integrated of Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, Soarikpa and Homeopathy in the health delivery system in a systematic manner. Exclusive policy support for the traditional medicine can be judged from the that is fact that the Government of India will very consciously set up the Ministry of Ayush on 9 November 2014 with an intention to accord the focused attention for the growth and scientific development of the Ayush system. Implementation of government's flagship program under the National Ayush Mission and National Ayush Mission has augmented the accessibility, affordability, outreach and quality of the health services at all levels in the country, and in the process mainstreaming of Ayush is intended to strengthen the delivery of multifaceted health services. Through the Ministry of Ayush, we are not only promoting the development activities of traditional medicine at national level, but also looking for more and more international cooperation and collaboration opportunities at bilateral, multilateral, regional and global level. In this direction, declaration of 21st June as an International Day of Yoga by United Nations has generated global interest for yoga as well as a lot of cooperation opportunities for exchange of yoga information, expertise and qualified, certified and accredited trainers of yoga. Similarly, through our WHO Collaboration Center of the Traditional Medicine and Collaboration Agreement with WHO, we intended to develop the Ayush technical guidelines and documents for the benefit of the member country. We have signed MOUs with some countries, governments, and also with international institutions and universities for fostering the cooperation in the area of traditional medicine education, health services, and research. Objective of all such initiatives is to promote the best practices of traditional medicine for the role of addressing healthcare need of the people. I must say that the health issues in the time to come are going to be very complex and hard to address with a single approach. To have effective control over the growing voracity of the non-communicable diseases, vector-borne diseases, malnutrition, antimicrobial resistance, and the issue of increased growth of geriatric population and associated health problem is really a very challenging situation for the healthcare fraternity across the globe. Harmonized and integrated approaches and strategies are needed to make the best use of the traditional practices for prevention of these diseases. Control of health, risks, and promotion of the integrative healthcare. All these need sustainable system of exchange of information, expertise, and experts of the traditional medicine, and build up the capacities and institutional mechanism to tap the holistic healthcare potential of the traditional and so-called complementary medicine system. Curbing the disease risk factor by promoting culture-friendly health practices and lifestyle intervention in the fundamental strength of the traditional medicine. I feel careful planning, financing, and organizing delivery of the traditional medicine-based health services can make a lot of difference in improving the community health of the society and achieve the health-related sustainable development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, it is to be emphasized that the policies and strategies adopted by the government have to be multidimensional and broad-based to appropriately accommodated traditional medicine in the development of the health infrastructure and services for which India set a unique example. We are striving with commitment to achieve comprehensive integration of Ayush in the healthcare services. I would like to urge all present here that share the concern in the area of traditional medicine and healthcare should be duly discussed and clearly sorted out to make inroads for forward movement in a joint-friendly manner. We should build up the institutional mechanism and the health system with the evidence-based approaches, shared practical experiences in the best practice of the traditional medicine system. I'm sure the International Arogya Exhibition and Conference will further strengthen the commitment to disseminate the Ayush for the people's welfare and inculcate the international cooperation and collaboration platform in the interest of its scientific development and holistic healthcare. In this regard, whatever support, guidance, and cooperation are expected from India, Ministry of Ayush, we would be happy to offer and associate ourselves in taking forward the initiative of mutual interest. To conclude, I would like to once again thanks everybody. I heartily acknowledge the gratitude to the presence of all dignitaries on and off the dais, invited guests, delegates, exhibitors, Ayush professional and industry representative, organizer and sponsorer, and the representative of the print and electronic media to make the program successful. I understand outcome of this conference and exhibition will help a lot to steer the momentum of achieving the health goal with integration and usage of Ayush system of medicine. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing with us your very progressive vision and a clear directive to us, the approach which we need to adopt as we look forward to promoting Ayush globally. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the release of the knowledge paper in the presence of our Honorable Minister of Commerce. We would now like to present you the highlights of this report, and I request and invite here Mr. Sandeep Sinha, the Vice President Healthcare Practice for Middle East, North and South Africa, Frost & Sullivan, who are our knowledge partners towards preparing this report.
Good morning, everyone. Frost & Sullivan, basically a US-based research and consulting firm. We are present in the region since last almost now 20 years. And it was indeed a great pleasure for us to get associated with the Ministry of Ayush, with PharmExcel, with FICCI, Ministry of Commerce, and various industry speakers, and as well as the participants who have actually helped us to come out with a very good guideline and a book for the Ayush and Ayush related products. I really enjoyed Minister Sir's, your speech, and as well as Mr. Suresh Prabhu. We basically outlined the entire agenda for next 3 to 4 days, and it was really great to hear that the kind of a vision which our country has created, especially in the segment which we have a very strong strength, as well as the future opportunities for our country. Just to give you a kind of a understanding, because I come from a healthcare industry, have worked in the hospital industry, and also have been in the international market since last almost now 8 to 9 years. And I'm based out of Dubai, and I do kind of a look at various international market between Middle East, Africa, and East Africa regions. And I have seen that there is a tremendous change in the lifestyle in last 10 to 15 years. What is happening is the acceptance of the natural product, primarily the wellness related product, primarily the Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, has been quite increased in terms of the acceptance amongst the common community, as well as even on the regulators' perspective. We see a lot of countries who have already started accepting and then also giving the prescription-based medicines, especially in the homeopathy as well as in the Ayurveda. So this is something which we are seeing in our international market. There is an opportunity for us. And where if we look at the domestic side of it, obviously we are quite advanced. And the combination where India is sitting is currently where we have a very strong historical presence and as well as the ancient knowledge about the Ayush and the wellness products. Plus, we also have a very strong modern medical science understanding and as well as the clinical understanding. So I think that is something is a great combination for us as a country to look at both our ancient science as well as the modern science. Looking at this, we thought, I think it would be a very good idea, and that's where we have been approached by FICCI to look at some of the international market. And we started looking at and interacting with the various industry participants. In the last 3 months, our team has done kind of a quite in-depth interaction with the most of you present here, the industry experts, the international agencies, and we realized that India definitely is sitting on a huge opportunity. And even if you look at the current statistics which is being produced by the PharmExcel, we are next to China in terms of the exports of the Ayush product. And in last 7 to 8 years, we have seen the growth has been tremendous in terms of the exports of these products. This particular book, which we have the white paper which we have released today, it gives a good idea about the various Asian and the other potential market, where the domestic companies can look at the regulations, the market entry strategies, and all the possible products which can be penetrated with a short term to mid term, and obviously the long term opportunities are which will require a lot of regulatory support in those countries. That is where we really need to work with the global community, with the global industry players, and as well as the respective regulatory bodies in each of these countries to come out with the very possible, a very cohesive environment which basically helps not the community per se, and also overall long-term care cycle for the human being. I would like to thank everyone for being invited as one of the knowledge partner of this white paper, and very thankful to you guys and really enjoyed this journey, and wish you all have a fantastic next 2-3 days time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for these highlights. Guided by your analysis and report, we are sure going to be able to make inroads. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have the release of the catalogue. I would like to request our Honorable Minister, Shri Shripad Yesso Naik ji, to please release this catalogue. This is the exhibitors directory, giving you a detailed account of the various exhibitors who are exhibiting. And just to mention you, the exhibition is going to be inaugurated shortly, just after the inaugural session by the Honorable Minister. The exhibitors directory, we have close to 250 plus exhibitors. Please pay a visit once the exhibition is inaugurated, and it's going to be on all 4 days. Thank you, sir. Now, deep thanks and gratitude and appreciation to our distinguished inaugural session speakers. Utmost thanks once again to our Honorable Minister, and we present a token of our gratitude, appreciation, a memento. May I request Mr. Vinay Mathur to kindly present the memento to the Honorable Minister. As you heard also from the Honorable Minister, there are greater efforts being taken by our policymakers towards promoting Ayush, taking this rich heritage which we have to the mankind. Thanking respected Secretary Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji, once again requesting Mr. Mathur to kindly present the memento. And may I also request Mr. Mathur to kindly extend this gratitude to Mr. A. Jayakumar. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mathur. And may I now request Dr. G. Geeta Krishnan to kindly present the mementos to our two distinguished speakers, Shri Arvind Vachasvi. And to Shri Ravi Uday Bhaskar. And as we come to the conclusion of this important session, the inaugural session, to propose a formal vote of thanks, may I request Dr. G. Geeta Krishnan, Ayush expert, WHO, to propose this vote of thanks.
Respected Minister for Ayush, Independent Charge, Shri Shripad Naik, Secretary Ayush, Shri Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji, every other dignitary on the dais, off the dais, friends. It's a very difficult proposition to actually say a vote of thanks for the inaugural session of any program, because the program is yet to start. But this is a duty, so I will go through this. But before that, I was inspired by the talk the ministers and all the dignitaries had given here, especially while the speeches were going on, the thoughts were running through my mind. We are a population, India is a population of 1.6 people, and more than 85% of Indians have in one way or other being supported by Ayush systems. That means nearly 1.4 billion people are being supported by Ayush systems for maintaining their health, which means almost 1/5 of the world population is being supported by Ayush systems in maintaining their health. This is very important. We are standing here and looking back, or actually looking at the current situation of health, we know that there is a big gap. There are resources, but there aren't enough evident benefits seen in the society. Some of the most prominent economies in the world are finding it difficult to meet their ends meet in terms of health care management. Examples could be like, very highly advanced economies or societies like US or UK or Germany. All of them find it difficult to take care of their people's health. And we are talking about just about US. They spend nearly 2.7 trillion US dollars every year on health. That's what they spent in 2017. That's roughly almost double the total Indian budget. The total Indian budget. And they are not able to fulfill the health needs of their country. If we are going to follow the same path which these huge economies have been taking, we can be assured that we are never going to take care of the billions of people across the globe who don't have this kind of money to spare. So where do we look at? That is when we look at the model of India. That is when we look at the truth that India, with 1.6 billion people, have been supporting at least 85% of her population with Ayush systems. This is a huge opportunity. I would say it's a huge responsibility. As both the ministers and the secretary has emphasized over here, I see it more as a responsibility than as an opportunity. We are not people, or never in our life or never in our culture have shut down our knowledge systems from anybody else just because we want commercial benefits from it. We have our knowledge, we are ready to share it, and I think it's like an ocean. You can bring in your buckets and take whatever you want. We are not going to own that. It's for you to take. So that's the kind of approach that India has, and that's what this particular program represents to me. There are 70 countries from across the globe. There is India, and there are a host of different traditional systems which are being represented here. Why can't we all put together our brains, our efforts, our resources for a better world? And that's what we are trying to achieve here. And I'm sure that the next 3 days to 4 days of this conference and as well as the exhibition will lead to many such activities happening and beginning in this noble country. Coming back to my responsibility, I should thank the graciousness of our minister, Sri Shripad Yeso Naik ji, who had been the pillar and the support and the guiding force behind this kind of a program, wherein which he had handheld us through the entire program and made sure that nothing is left to choice. It's everything is done right. I thank you, sir, from our heart as well as from each and every one of us. Thank you so much for giving us this support. Though in absentia, I would also love to thank Sri Suresh Prabhuji, who, not having enough time, had actually run between 2 meetings to attend this meeting. His ministry has a major meeting immediately after that, and he had rushed from here to that meeting, but his words still resonate in our mind. He is a commerce minister of this country, but he did not speak commerce. He spoke about humanity. he spoke about what we were thinking, like how our thought process are. We don't think about money first, we think about humanity first. We think about health first, and we think about happiness primarily. That's what he talked about. I want to thank, from all our part, Sri Suresh Prabhuji, the Commerce Minister of India, for having graced this occasion. I would also like to thank Sri Rajesh Kotecha, sir. Why Rajesh Kotecha? Is a prominent name in the Ayush sector. First of all, for being the first secretary, non-civil service secretary in the ministry. And second of all, having shown that he can turn around many situations which are often found to be usually difficult to turn around. He had already done that several times. And sir, I am sure that your graciousness and your ability to lead will make sure that your dreams of making this sector 3 times bigger in the next 5 years will fructify. I would like to also thank Dr. Sanjay Barua, Secretary General of FICCI. FICCI has been immensely like a leading light in this in the formulation and the practical implementation of this particular conference. They have done a lot of work, lot of groundwork. In fact, I think the team of FICCI, which Dr. Sanjay Barua represents over here, had been working on this for the past 1.5 years. They had put many people to work. They had actually roped in people who can think about the sector and find out new avenues for the sector, and actually made a presentation of the paper also over here. I am thankful to Dr. Sanjay Barua as well as to all members of the FICCI team for having given this opportunity to the sector by bringing in industry and the scientific community together to think about increasing the potential of Ayush in export sector. I would like to also thank Sri Ravi Uday Bhaskarji, Director General Pharmaxil. Pharmaxil is a major partner in all the activities related to exports of Ayush goods. Basically, they work with the pharmaceutical industry, and they have been considerably active in improving the export potential of Ayush products and Ayush services, and has worked with us several times, and across years, since 2002 they had been working with us. And I would like to thank Sri Ravi Uday Bhaskarji as representative of Pharmaxil for having given this opportunity for the Ayush sector, and I am sure that in future also you will do that, sir. I would also like to thank Mr. Sandeep Sinha, from Vice President of Frost & Sullivan, for having created this knowledge paper on how to open doors of Ayush into the minds and commerce of different countries in ASEAN as well as in BIMSTEC. I am sure that the knowledge paper which has been published here will be of extreme use to entire Ayush fraternity, and I am sure that Frost & Sullivan will keep on doing this for the rest of the world also. Thank you so much, sir, for having given this opportunity to us. I would also like to thank Sri Arvind Vachaswiji, who is the head of Sri Sri Tattva organization. Sri Sri Tattva has been really supportive for us in creating this program, in thinking about this program, and actually, bringing this program together. So thank you so much for having given this opportunity. I would like to thank Sri A. Jayakumar. He is the Secretary General of Vijnana Bharati, but as the leader of one of the few scientific organizations in the country, which is also the largest scientific organization in the country, who actually takes care of Indian traditional wisdom, I would like to thank him, sir, for having brought all of us together to this stage where, we are talking about a ministry of Ayush who is taking care of the traditional systems of medicine in India. In fact, when I speak about Jayakumarji, I would also like to thank World Ayurveda Foundation, all the members of World Ayurveda Foundation, and as well all the members of NASIA, especially the team of NASIA who had brought in a lot of students and teachers of Ayush, not only Ayurveda, of Ayush from across the country to this grand audience. In fact, there are a few other people whom I should thank, even though, like it is going to take another 2 minutes. I will just read out the names, but still I will try to finish as early as possible. I would like to thank, in her absence, Madam Rita Teotia, Secretary of Commerce. Without her, support and without her proper, guidance, we would not have been able to conduct this program in this manner. I would also like to thank Sri Pramod Kumar Pathakji, Joint Secretary Ayush. I would also like to thank Sri Shyamal Mishra, Joint Secretary Commerce. I would like to thank Sri P.N. Ranjit Kumar, Joint Secretary Ayush. Again, Sri Sudhanshu Pandey, Commerce Joint Secretary. Sri Rajneesh, Joint Secretary of Commerce. I would like to thank Sri Roshan Jaggi, Joint Secretary Ayush. All these Joint Secretaries have worked together for the success of this program. Many of them could not be here because of their official matters happening in their respective offices, but without their active involvement, we would not have been able to conduct this program to this level. I would like to thank Dr. D.C. Kattoj, Advisor Ayush, as well as Dr. Manoj Naseri, who is also the advisor for Ayush Ministry. I would also like to thank all the Indian embassies and the foreign embassies which are placed in India. And I'd also take this opportunity to make an announcement with the permission of the dais. We would like to announce that World Ayurveda Foundation, along with our partners, including FICCI, will be conducting the 8th World Ayurveda Congress in Ahmedabad in 2018, December 21 to 24th. I'm sure that all of us will be meeting there. I welcome you all over there. Again, once again, thank you for this opportunity to thank you for starting this great program. I'm sure that we will be much better with information and knowledge and opportunities in the next 3-4 days. Thank you so much.